Welcome back to the part 3 of this butterfly modeling series. In the previous videos, that were the part 1 and part 2, we have modeled this much portion of this butterfly, and in this video we are going to model it further, including the legs, and we are also going to texture this particular model. So without wasting much time, let's begin the video. And now, in order to model the legs, what we can do is we can go to the edit mode of this butterfly body, and then using the face selection tool we can just select certain amount of faces from where the legs will originate. So here you can see I have selected these 4 faces, and I think according to the body of this butterfly we need to select 2 faces, since it would be appropriate to select a smaller number of faces. And now what we can do is we can just what you can see, we can just dissolve these faces so that the 2 faces will convert into the 1 face, and then we can just insert a face and then subdivide this face. And now what we can do is we can just using the loop tool convert it to circle and then scale it downward. So from this circular portion the legs of this butterfly will originate, and then we can just apply the process of extruding this particular circular portion. So here you can see the extrusion is working on both the left and right side, since we have this mirror modifier added to this particular model. So it is working and making our task easier by modeling it on both the sides. So just keep on extruding it and just try to give this particular shape that I am giving. And also you need to focus on the scaling. So where the legs were originating, it was a thin portion, and when it reaches the top it will become a thick portion. And again when the legs would be coming at its tip, and there it will become very thin. So you need to be careful with the scales. So here you can see we have just modeled this legs of this butterfly, and then using this vertex selection tool we need to just move this legs using this proportional editing tool also into the x direction, so that it will appearing very close and not spread out. Since the butterfly have several legs, and we are going to model this legs one more time, but in order to just save our time and resources, what we can do is we can just simply add a insert a face over here and then just subdivide it a couple of times. Using the loop tool, make a circle, scale it downward, and now we can just select this previously modeled leg and just duplicate it using the Shift D tool. So here you can see I have just duplicated this legs. And now selecting both of these faces of the circular face, and then we need to merge each of these faces. So you need to manually select those faces after deleting the inner face, and then select each of these vertices too, and we can just breathe those areas. So finally you can see we have just modeled 4 legs of this butterfly. and then we can just simply try to just reshape this upper legs so that it will appear kind of different from the lower legs. So finally we have just modeled our butterfly, and now it's a time to give the texture to this butterfly. So going to the texture tab, and I'm just hiding each of these wings. We are going to give the texture to this body first. So adding a new texture, and I'm deleting the principal BSDF, and I have just added the noise texture, and now press Ctrl T if you have the node wrangler add-on enabled, and this two nodes will appear directly, and then you can increase the scale and play around the roughness and the details. Now what we can do is we can add one more node, that is the noise texture again, and we need to place it between the texture coordinate and mapping node. And then add a mix RGB node and place it over here. Connect this object to the second color input, and now we can add a color ramp and place it over here. And now bring this slider close to each other so that we can get this particular pattern. And now we can just add one more slider, and we can just change the color of whatever you like. So here in the render tab I am using the cycles render engine. So you need to just play around the colors whatever you like. Since the reference was having the green color, so I am sticking with this green color. I'm just duplicating this body of this butterfly so that we can add some variation and make a larger number of butterfly with some variation in color. So I have just duplicated this particular butterfly, and we can just add the Voronoi texture. This time I am adding a Voronoi texture, and in the previous I have added the noise texture. And this texturing is also similar, but it will just have some different pattern. So you can add a color ramp and then press Ctrl T to add these nodes automatically. Now we can add those similar nodes in between this texture coordinate and mapping node. So here I am adding a muscular texture in between these nodes, and we can add a mix node. And now connect this object to the color output too. But before that, let me increase the scale so that we can see how it is appearing. And now connect this to the color output too. Play around the scales, play around the details and roughness, whatever you like. And then we can also just bring the sliders close to each other and play around the colors, whatever you like. So here you can see both the body of the butterfly are having some different kind of textures, and you can just play around those texture patterns as many as time. You can just duplicate the butterfly body and have ample amount of butterflies. So now I am unhiding all those objects, and what we can do is we can hide this second butterfly, and we can just focus on the texturing of these wings. So selecting the wings and adding a new material, what we can do is we can add a image texture. So here is the image texture, and connect the color to the base color, and we can just open the image of the butterfly wings. That is the same image that is used in the reference. So now go to the edit mode, UV editing mode, and then just select the image of the butterfly, and then we need to just UV unwrap this particular wing. So just UV unwrap from the view, and then we need to just scale it properly so that the UV unwrap of this mesh will just roughly match with the image of the wing given in the reference. So this will automatically apply the texture that are appearing on the wings, and here you can see this is looking amazing. The upper wings have been textured, and then we can just follow the same process of texturing using this lower wings. So I'm just copying the material and then just pasting it over the lower wings. Then we can just add a new image texture, and then we can just unwrap this properly from the view, and then just scale it. And now you can see both the upper and the lower wings have been textured properly, and then we can just play around this texture of the body of this butterfly so that it matches with the wings, and then we can also play around this color. And you can also eyedrop, using this eyedrop tool you can select the color so that the body of the butterfly will match with the wings. So here you can see I'm just playing around those colors in order to have some mood variations into the texture. And finally the 3D model of the butterfly has been completed, and I'm ending this particular video. But before that, let's apply this mirror modifier. And in the next video, what we are going to do is we need to add the armature to this butterfly so that we can easily animate this particular butterfly. Till then, have a nice day, and we will meet into the next video.